All right, so today, before we do our lesson, we're going to talk a little bit about this robot that we've got together so far. I know the last video ran out right at the end, so just make sure everybody's got this where it should be. So the little braces, remember I changed the color of these so you could just see them a little bit better. You did not need to do that unless you just wanted to. But these little braces here, that's what keeps our C channel from bending together. It really keeps your robot a lot more rigid and not near as flexible, and that'll definitely help you later on when you're building more things on this robot. So I put 3 of those plates on each side all the way around the robot. Now, if you're designing your specific robot next year, you definitely want to put these in places where it means something, where it's going to help you. If there's a beam coming in right here, you don't want that beam to flex back and forth. You'd want to brace there on this portion of the C channel to keep that from flexing down. We just kind of randomly spaced them in there. Later on your actual robot, you'd place those in some meaningful places that would really help you out. All right, next thing we're going to look at is, if you remember these wheels, we still have it for these wheels. They're not 100% constrained. This motor here, notice how it still rotates. When this motor rotates, it changes the position of that shaft. And we're going to talk a little bit about that and what that does for you. So let's take a look at this. First thing is I'm going to look at this side of the robot, looking at my wheels. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on that side right there. For me, that happens to be the right side. Hopefully you have yours set up the same way. If not, just get at the side view here looking at this robot. So now, when I grab this, my whole motor, and if I just grab the shaft of the motor, it'll rotate the motor. It rotates up and down. Now, notice what that does for me. Can either make my wheel way up here or my wheel way down here, or somewhere in between. What I want you to do is I want you to get these set into place. So to do that, first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag my robot down to here, right down to where it's even at the bottom of the screen. And I rotate this wheel up until they're approximately equal. I'm not worried about this being 100% perfect, but you want your robot moving across flat, so this stays level to the ground, so about right there. Now the way we're going to lock this into place is like this. I'm going to zoom in here on it. Right here is the shaft of my motor. So I'm going to constrain this flat portion of the shaft to a flat portion of the robot. So the way we're going to do that, we're going to hit C for constrain. I am going to pick this line right there where that angle shows up, where that angle line shows up. I'm going to click on it, click that edge, and I'm going to change it to an angular constraint. On angular constraint, I have 3 different ones. I'm going to pick this middle one. It's the undirected angle. So I'm going to pick on it. And now I'm just going to click on a flat spot of the robot up here. Now that rotated it up to there. But remember, that's really, I don't think, where I want this to be. Let's double check it and see. It might be okay right there. Let's see. You know, honestly, I think that's pretty good, that 0 degree angle. Now, if I wanted to be something different, I could change it to something different. I could change it to 90. And now that rotated at 90 degrees. I could change that to 180. And it rotates to 180. But as we just saw for me, 0 looked pretty good. Depends on where you exactly picked yours and what flat surface you picked. Maybe 180, 90, 270 might work better. For me, again, 0 looked pretty good. So I'm going to apply that. I don't think I got mine applied correctly. I don't know what I just did. Yep, mine's way down there. So there, I messed mine up. I need to go down through this list, find my motor. There's my never rest, appeared in my list over there. Notice I clicked on it, turned it blue. Send my list over here. Going to hit my plus sign on my list. And go to that angle. It did go to 0, but for whatever reason, that didn't give me what I wanted. What if I would go 180? That's funny. It didn't turn me because it's kind of 0, 180. It didn't switch it back and forth. I'm going to go 90 and see what that does. 90 goes back to there. All right, let me go back to 0. It's kind of weird it's making me step it through step by step like that. There we go. That's kind of interesting. I don't know why it did that, because 180 should have been the opposite direction, but it didn't. But anyway, sometimes you just got to make it work. So there we go. That looks great. Now I've got to do the same thing on this wheel on the other side. My computer's kind of lagging there. All right, let's see. I'm just going to spin it here, spin it to my left side. Okay. Now, once again, I think that up there at that 0 degree angle, again, is going to work just fine. So we're going to go constrain. Once again, going to click that top line. Going to go to my angular constraint, the middle one, the undirected angle, and pick right there. And that looks beautiful. I'm going to apply it. So now, these are constrained. They're nice. They'll still spin around and around here on this. And, you know, honestly, I could probably keep those from spinning on there because it's just that it's not lining up with those holes. So I'm going to do it there just a little bit offset so I can see my two separate holes. And I'm going to go ahead and constrain that center line to that center line. Apply that. Now let's see what we got. All right. Now the whole thing spins here. My actual wheel is spinning here on this. Again, I could just do a direct or a angular constraint again. And I could put that angle locked in with that angle. And undirected, and right there. Now that thing's locked in place and doesn't spin, which is really what I kind of want. So let me go ahead, and I did not do that on the other side, so I would spin around to the other side and do it over there. Let's see here what we got. Yep, that one still spins. I'll let you guys get that one done on your own. But there's that and how that works. Now, I have a little bit more time on this video. You're actually going to have two videos today. Sorry, the other one we're actually going to do some other work. I want to show you kind of why that's important, of why that motor rotates. Here, yeah, somewhat important. It keeps my robot, this portion of it, setting flat. But where that's used more is actually in this little demonstration. So let's take a look. So here, we got just a little plate. I mounted a motor to a plate, mounted a gear to the plate. Here, this could be something to where I had a winch that I wanted to give some power to. So I put the small gear on the motor, put a large gear out here, and then I could have a actual cable or string or whatever that would be attached to this shaft that would rotate. Actually, the way I have it made on this one, I have it free rotating, so that wouldn't work. But anyway, we can mount something here to the actual gear, a little spool that would wind up and make us a nice little spool there to wind string on. But with that, I'm going to take a look here at my side view of this. Notice how well the gear meshes with this gear. It really doesn't. That's where this comes in very handy for this. Notice while this happens, you rotate this down into place. You can rotate it through because I don't have anything set to where it doesn't rotate through. But you could rotate it right down to there. I'm going to adjust that gear just a little bit. Rotate there. And right there. That would be a really good meshing of those two gears together. So with that, I would go in here and I would constrain this angle with my top plate at that correct angle. And then what you do physically with the actual robot when you're creating this robot is that's just where you put the bolt in here and you tighten down that motor right there. So that motor is locked into that place to where these two gears mesh together correctly. But that's really where that's set up, what that's set up for, and why that motor shaft is offset and not in the center of the motor is so you can do things like that. Gives you some adjustment to that where it doesn't have to line up exactly. All right, so I think that's enough on that one. Hopefully everybody can kind of see and visualize that. And I'm going to quit this video now, and I'll get with the actual lesson for the day.